Hey, welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Adam Vokey.
Back again, my friend.
I am back again.
Where are we at?
At Big Johnson Construction.
That's
in the
right.
training room.
Big Johnson, we get it up quicker. That's the...
It used to be.
Oh, they don't do it anymore?
No. It was, we get it up faster, and then it was...
We get it up faster.
And then after that, it was, we get it up fast and deliver big. And then they kind of went away from that whole thing.
They get some class on them or what?
They did. So we kind of rebranded a little bit. We actually lost a job up in the Front Range because the name of our company offended people.
Are you shitting me?
Nope. It's supposed to be for a school or something.
And they don't want
the
that.
school board didn't like the Johnson part of the name of our company, so
I would have challenged them on it.
right.
Well, what's wrong with Johnson? What are you talking about?
So
Made him describe it to you, you know.
we go by BJC now.
Remember all the Big Johnson? Remember the Big Johnson T-shirts?
I do. I had a few of them back in the day.
They were good.
Everybody had a few of those.
They were good.
Well, hearing that voice, we have a guest today. We have a good friend of yours, actually.
Yep, he is a friend of mine. Talked him into doing this.
Mr. Kelly Hoem. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Doing very well.
And that's not home like a house. That's home like home.
Hoem, just like poem. It's Norwegian.
It's just like what?
Poem, just like a poem, except spelled with an H. That's how I tell everybody to remember it.
I had no clue what you said there. I was
They always want to swap the last two to ME. That was the hardest. When my kids and myself were growing up, it'd come time to take a spelling test. Okay, spell the word home. Hoem. And still to this day, and spell check hates us. Spell check hates it when Susan started starting the computer.
Right.
It just hates us. So yeah, it's just like the one you live in, but the last two are swapped. That's another way you got to put it.
It's like the Favre thing, or what's going on? You know, like, is that supposed to be in that order?
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
It doesn't look right to me. My Lundstrom, people want to put a U at the very end. It's ROM. People want to put UM in the worst way, man.
Well, I could see that.
Oh, at
I probably
Pepsi.
would too if you wouldn't have told me. I probably still would.
Yeah, it's Lundstrom. Or this one, Vodka.
Yeah.
My iPhone will not call him Vokey. It just won't do it.
The caller ID at my when I call the girls,
Yeah.
I call the home phone. They still have a landline.
Do they?
They do.
Because they live in North Dakota.
Pretty much.
Goddamn backwoods shit.
But yeah, it's like they say it that like announces incoming call from Adam, and they say it's all messed up. So
You know what? Kudos to the salesman of the Spectrum or whatever they get it from down there. Because my Spectrum guy tries to talk me every day into getting a landline and getting it cheaper. I said, I ain't doing it, man. You keep the $3 extra a month. I ain't putting a landline in because
we finally got rid of ours about 4 years ago. We had it for a long time, but
my mother still has one, but she uses it every day.
Yeah,
you know.
I had one a while back when the girls were younger, and if they were at home or something, I had to go somewhere. They had a way to get a hold of me if they needed to.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But now they have cell phones, so I don't.
Unless I started a sexy porn voice business.
The best part of having a landline phone was my youngest daughter, Brinley. At the time, she was probably, I don't know, 8 or 10. And the phone rang one time, and it was like an 800 number. She asked me, she goes, "Can I answer this?"
Oh, God.
I go, "You can. I don't care what you say. Just don't give them your name and don't agree to anything." And she's like, "Okay." So she answered the phone, and she looks at me, and she goes, "They want to talk to you." I go, "You're the one that answered the phone. You talk to them."
How old is she?
She was probably 8 or 10.
What's wrong with you, man?
And so she goes, "What do I say?" I go, "Whatever you want." She goes, "I want 50 tacos." And the guy goes, "What?" She goes, "I want 50 tacos. You know, like you eat." And then I don't know what he said. And then she goes, "And I want them delivered by helicopter." My oldest daughter, Harley, and I, we were rolling at this point. And then the next thing out of Brinley's mouth is, "And if I don't get them, Barbie gets it." And she looks at the phone, she goes, "He hung up." What do you think?
Because he thought he was talking to a stoned 8-year-old.
that's a good one.
Jesus, how many tacos? How many edibles you had there, sweetheart?
Yeah, I always let her answer the phone.
I haven't had a landline in quite some time. But anyway, welcome to the Bullhucker podcast. If you're new to the podcast, what we do is we bring on a guest. Today's Kelly Hoem. What Kelly's going to do is tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's the kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's actually either, 2 are true. One's either borrowed, halfway made up, or all the way made up. Now, Kelly, without going into great detail to give it away, which is the Bullhucker? Did you make it up? Did you partly make it up, or is it a borrowed story?
It's partially true.
Partially true. Okay, so half and half. That's the most popular way, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you get a lot quite of that. You said you watched this once or twice.
Yeah, just once.
Yeah, Lacey's.
After Lacey was on, I didn't actually. I hate to admit I'm behind the 8 ball. I didn't realize what you guys did this until after Lacey told me so.
Oh wow!
And I don't think about it. I get home probably early in the afternoon, so I could sit and look at it. I just never think about it. But now, since I've been a honored guest, I will probably try to tune in a little more.
I try and stop Adam from laughing when people say honored guest. I think that's not portraying
I
that.
I didn't laugh at the fact that he said that. I laughed at the fact of the way he said it.
Lacey, I saw her and Justin in the store, and I was like, I'm going to go take this guy out. I'm going to show him some tits and get some free dinner. And he stared at me the weirdest way. And I'm like, he did watch the podcast, right, Lacey? Because if not, this is going to be super weird. I just said that to him,
This is awkward.
Very.
But, I'm not above free dinner. So
Yeah, that's it.
How do you know Lacey?
Oh, I met my wife and her have been friends for years. She does my wife's nails.
Oh, okay.
That's how I started. Probably met her through Susan.
She's crazy, man.
She's nuts. She's hilarious.
She's great, bitch.
Yeah, she is a funny lady. Nothing surprises her, and she's just happy most of the time.
Yeah, she really is.
She's got a fantastic attitude on life, and
Right.
she's raising her kids right too. Once in a while, her kids will do something that she didn't like, and she'll say, "You should apologize to the adults." That is not a thing, She's just that way. Her and Justin are trying like that. In this tough world we live in now with the kids, they're trying to raise them right now. They're doing a good job.
Right.
They got a couple 100 boys. What do you expect? They're boys.
Oh, and they're part Lacey, so I mean, right there,
And the
fired
other part,
up.
Justin.
They're fired up.
that's right. That means they're full in trouble. You know what I mean?
They're fired up.
But that's good that they're doing that with it, because I worked with their dad for a couple years
Okay.
at DFA, old
Right.
Donnie, so he's a good dude too.
Right.
Pretty mellow people. What do you do for a living?
Well, kind of back up. I spent 20 years in the National Guard. I started when I was a senior in high school.
Wow.
Actually, I joined when I was 17. My best friend's brother was in the National Guard, and he convinced us to join. So my parents had to sign for me. October of '78, I joined the Guard. My parents had to sign because I was 17. I was like 2 months shy of being 18. And then so I didn't think I'd spend 20 years there, but I did. So I spent my 20 years there, got out of there in October of 98.
Wow.
October 98. I had 20 years, 14 days. I'm done. So that's part of that'll relay into my first story I'll tell.
We got a story in there. Okay.
And then I ended up, I started off as my mom used to work at the REA in Wyoming, in Saratoga, Wyoming, where I grew up. And she was the head bookkeeper at the time. And there was a line contractor. His name was WB Electric. It was Bill Williams out of Laramie, Wyoming. And he was the in-house contractor for the REA. And, of course, my mom and dad knew him very well. He'd been there a long time. And I just got back from basic training I've been back about a week maybe. And he came in the office. He's quite a character. His brother was C.W. Williams. He used to run the bank in town. That was one of his brothers. Bill grew up here in Fort Morgan.
Okay.
Anyway, he was quite a character, and he goes, my mom goes, your son of a bitch wants to go to work. I need some goddamn help out there. And she goes, my son just got back from basic training. He's 18 years old. He needs money before he goes to welding school. Get his butt in there. I want to talk to him. So she got a hold of me. I came in. We talked. He said, let's put me to work. So I started working with him, and all I was doing is sending stuff up the hand line and doing whatever they needed done. I worked there for 2.5, 3 months before I went to welding school, and the foreman's a good guy. I haven't talked to him in years, still a good friend of mine. Anyway, the last thing the foreman told me when I left to go to welding school, if I ever need a job, call him back, because he could use me if I needed a job. Well, as time turned around, I went through some bumps here and there after welding school, and I went back I called him up one night, and I said, I need a job. He said, how can you be here? I said, I can be there Monday. He said, get your butt up here. So I'll put you to work. I got up there, and we still had the same agreement. If a job comes open, you want to go welding, no ties here. Be on your way. But I can get you a job and get you some money and help you out for a while.
Right.
Well, a few months down the road, pretty soon we're sitting at the bar having a few beers, and he says, how long are you going to stick around there? I said, well, I don't know. He says, what do you think of this job? What do you think of this type of work? He says, it's kind of interesting how you do things. He says, you want to put some of those funny things on your legs and learn how to climb so you can help me? Well, I'd started my 35-year career in line work.
That's crazy.
So, that's how I started. I spent 35 years, 2 years with him, and then 33 years with Tri-State.
We had a friend, Sparky's son, wanted to do that racing for a while. And I told Mom, if you see him, he realizes like when the power goes out and the wind, it's snowing sideways, you're the asshole who gets to climb up there and fix that.
Yeah,
It's not fun, man.
So yeah, we used to. Well, of course, I traveled for a big company, so we had power lines here, Colorado Springs, Granby, Kremlin. We had them all over. And there was times if I had to leave, I'd tell Susan and the kids, "I'll see you." I don't know. Could be 3 weeks. Could be a month. Might be. You never knew.
Right.
So sometimes I always pack my budget thoroughly in a suitcase and go. And there's times I was out for usually 3 weeks, and then they'd try to get us home for at least one weekend, and we'd go back out and hopefully get it done the next. But yeah, I traveled a lot, 200 nights a year in a motel was about what we averaged.
You tell her I don't know when I'll be Hoem.
Yeah. And then after I retired out of there at 55, I farted around for about 6 weeks, and of course, at 55, you're still awfully young to retire unless you got a heck of a bankroll to pay the insurance.
Right.
So I went, I decided a part-time job came over at the city at the cemetery, and I put in for it. And I got the part-time job as a seasonal. And I was there about, that was, I think, March of 16. March of 16, I started at the cemetery as a seasonal. And then one of the guys, Felix Rodriguez, if you guys know Felix by chance.
I don't.
He worked there for like 27 years. He had some health problems come up, so he decided he was going to retire in January, right after the new year in 17. So I ended up getting a full-time job just before he left in October. I was full-time. October 16, I became full-time at the cemetery, so I've been there since.
Do you work with the Tyler Zink out there?
Yes, Tyler's my boss. Tyler's my supervisor. Good guy. Yeah, Tyler and I we're good friends, actually. Tyler and I, and Tyler's mom and his dad, they're almost our best friends.
Oh, really?
So I've Tyler's been kind of like a adopted son. I've watched him grow, and I know the whole family very well.
He's been on this podcast.
Yeah.
Him and Yolanda.
Him and I talked about that.
Here's the thing. Denver got beat by the Ravens today, so Tyler's on my shit list for today at least. So up Tyler Zink's ass. That's what I'm saying right there.
Yeah. Well, Tyler's doing a good job down there.
He's a good dude.
He's a good guy. I've known Tyler a long time.
Yeah.
Since he was probably 7, I'm guessing. We talked about, I think he's 6 or 7 I first met him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, his sister, Mickey, I held Mickey when she was 6 hours old.
Oh, really?
And in fact, his son, when Jax was born, Susan and I were getting ready to go to Arizona to watch the Rockies spring baseball. And we heard that they had the baby, so we were already in Denver. We were in Denver, so we just drove out up to north to Brighton where they were at. And I held Jax. He was probably 6, 8 hours old when I got to hold Jax for the first time.
Wow.
So, yeah, I know him quite well.
Mickey's been on the podcast, too.
Yep.
Yeah. Mickey's, in fact, my wife is her godmother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, we're real close.
When I first started doing this podcast, Tyler and Yolanda were two of the people I was going to hunt down right away because I always enjoyed conversation with them, And
They're right.
And Yolanda's she's larger than life, that girl, you know what I mean? Just her personality just eclipses everything around her.
Yeah, she'll fire it at you.
Oh, yeah. She's the girl that most women in this listen to this podcast, I like that Yolanda. They
Yeah.
say it not like she's all right. She's okay. So, okay, well, Kelly, you ready to tell some stories, man?
I am.
All right. So, Adam, since you're the guest today, why don't you name them off first?
We got the 3 stories here. It's knocked a DI on his ass, blue dog, and grave mistake.
Why don't you pick one out, my man?
I'm going to go with, I want to do grave mistake.
All right.
Grave mistake. This has been very recent, in fact. It's March of 2022, a few months ago. We had a very busy day at the cemetery, and we had to dig 3 holes in one day. And so it was a nice day. We got out there, and we got the backhoe and got everything, and we dug 3 holes in one day, 3 graves. We dig our graves. They're 3 foot wide, 6 foot deep, 8 foot long. So we get in at the backhoe, get in there, dig we can, and then you got to get down the hole and clean everything out, make sure everything works, everything's square. So when the vault guy shows up, he just got to drop the vault in. And then when everything's said and done, all we do is cover the vault. All we do is pull up all you see is the vault. You know what's in there. I mean, it's real.
What's the vault? The thing that lowers it in?
No, there's a cement. A vault is a cement casing that a casket goes in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They started this, I think it was 2008. I may be mistaken on that. And I'm not exactly sure when the city passed this. Otherwise, if you go in the cemetery, you can find the old section that looks like this because all the caskets have deteriorated.
On the cave in?
Yep, and it's just like this. Like when you're mowing, it's like you're underwater.
Oh, jeez.
So now we have these, and that helps. That way, it's just a new law for the city. Almost every big city requires a vault. And then what that does is they come in, the vault guys or CVI, that's who does it. They come in, they drop the vault, and then they leave the lid tipped one way, and they put all their stuff around it, put the lowering device, and at the end of the service, they drop the casket into the vault, put the lid on it. So it's just a cement vault with the casket and the body in it.
Wow.
You know what's in there. And then we come in with pea gravel, and we dump pea gravel over it, and then we fill it with dirt and make it look nice and pretty, and then we, when the time comes to sod, we level it all out, do some prep work, and we sod it.
I didn't know any of that happened ever. Dude, did you?
It's just that a lot of people don't realize what happens inside the cemetery till you work there.
Yeah,
no, I mean, it's kind of a unique situation to be in. We call ourselves, we're on our own island, we say a lot, because a lot of people in town, even the guys, they just don't understand how it works. I had no clue until I got there.
Yeah.
So there's some neat things that actually have to happen to make everything work. But back to that, our number one priority is burials. That's the first thing on the list.
Right.
We got burials, irrigation, mowing, blah. But when burials come in, you got to get them ready. And a lot of times, we try to dig them as soon as we can. In case, for example, if one comes in, we had one for Friday for tomorrow. So we try to get them done in case we get two more come in. Well, we got one done. Now we only got two to do.
Right.
But anyway, we had three of them get us this in March, and we had finally got them all dug, pretty much done. And what we try to do, since there's multiple holes, and to make it easy on us, we take orange traffic cones, and we'll set one by the road, and then we'll set a cone on top of. We have grave covers. They're white fencing gates, 4x8 fencing gates with white tarp on them. That's our grave covers, and we put them over the grave. Over the grave, and then we take so the guys can find it in the morning. The vault guys. So if we're busy, they don't find us. They know where the casket or the vault has to go. So we put an orange one by the road, one on the grave, and then they drive by. Oh, there's where it is. They got spotted for me. The guys, that's just the way the system works.
That sounds like a very, very crazy. That doesn't sound like very.
But the thing is, we got 3 holes open, so we got to, plus
I'm already anxious about this story.
So anyway, yeah, 3 holes open, and it was the end of the day. We got done, and we already threw the cones in the back. Tyler and Caleb were coming down the road to pick me up. I said, "Here's a picture of the cones. I'll put them on the grave." Good idea. Then, good idea. Caleb goes, "Great. That way we don't have to worry about it tomorrow. He'll find them." So I grabbed the 2 cones, stuck one there, stuck one on the grave. I jumped in the truck. Tyler and I and Caleb went to the office at the end of the day. We had about an hour left. We did a couple of things to finish out our day and went home. So I got home that day, regular day. We're hanging out. Susan came home. We ate dinner, watched TV, went to bed. I woke up about 3 o'clock, and I was thinking, if you guys may do this, you wake up about 3 o'clock, and you think of what's ahead of you for the day, because your mind's working. I went there, yeah, we have that 9 o'clock service. It was an early service. It was a graveside service at 9 o'clock in the morning. I said, we got that service, 9 o'clock service and sermon. I thought to myself, sermon? I put the cones in the other section. I put the cones in the wrong division. I put them on the south side, and the burial was actually on the north side. Some of the mounts, one over by the Highway 144. I was over by the grade school. That's where I put the thing was. Caleb saw me do it. Tyler saw me do it. So none of us thought about it. And I woke up and I said, "Oh my God, I could put it in the wrong spot." I jumped out of bed. I woke Susan up and said, "Hey," I said, "I have got to get to the cemetery." She goes, "What's up?" I said, "I got to move the cones. I'll tell you when I get back." So I knew this was a 9 o'clock service. And I kept thinking, "Oh my God, the vault guy showed up early." And he dropped the vault in the ground so we could save him an hour tomorrow morning. And it might be in the wrong spot. So I run my butt over to the shop. And I get there, I run in the office, I check the board. We have a burial board that's got all the burials. I looked and said, "Yep, it's supposed to be in sermon." I thought so. I cruise out there, get to where I put the cones, grab the cones, open it up. Oh, shit, the vault's on the ground.
Oh, no.
Now it's in the wrong spot. It's supposed to be 200 yards that way, and it's in this. Like I said, we had 3 holes open, and then I put it in this one on the wrong division. I have no idea where the guy's staying. Absolutely no idea where he's staying. I don't know what time he's going to show up. I don't have his phone number.
Let me ask you this: you may have answered this already. All the vaults universal, same size?
Unless you have an oversized, they make oversized, but that's a special.
Okay.
But yeah, they're all
generally.
They're all the same size.
Okay.
Anyway, we. So I said, "Oh my God, I can't find him." The only people who know where he's at is probably the mortuary. Know who's doing it. They might have his number, but I wasn't going to call Brent or anybody at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just freaking out. I'm going, "Oh my God, this is terrible." I said, "I hope we get to her." Oh, so he wanders in. I told Tyler what's going on. Tyler, the next morning, Tyler sees me at 7. He comes in, whistling, happy. Tyler, told me, he goes, "What?" "It's in the wrong hole." I said, "It is." I said, "We all put the cones." He goes, "Oh, I remember right. I helped you jump. You got in a pickup. None of us caught it. I said, no, we all thought we were in the right spot. We're supposed to be in Sermon. He goes, oh, my God. So we're all watching for this guy like a hawk. He pulls in. We catch him. I had to tell him what was going on. He was not a happy camper. I got here early. I said, I know you did. So I wouldn't have to do this shit in the morning. I want to get. I said, I know. So he had to set his whole machine up, back in there, set his whole machine up, drop everything, and it's got cables that the vault has ledges that cables fit underneath. So that's what they do. They have to slide the cable. It's not easy from the top. It's easier when they're above ground, of course.
Sure.
He was in there, and I was trying to help much as I could because I kind of screwed this guy's day up. So we had 2x4s, and we were sliding. Finally got the cables underneath those lips and got everything, and he had to take his hoist. He pulls this thing out of the ground. He's used a Calvin hoist, or he's got one of those 6-ton hoists. He gets this thing up. He's already had it in the ground. He gets the thing up. He turns it. He sets it on. He has to set everything up now. He turns everything. He puts it back on his roller, and he rolls it across the cemetery about 2/3 of the way back onto his truck. And now he's got to take it over there and do the same damn thing he did the night before because I put him in the wrong hole.
Oh, shit.
So anyway, he got it in the correct hole. He asked me, I said, "Are you sure?" I said, "I know this is where it goes over here." Of course, he had, like I say, he came in that morning. My biggest fear was exactly what happened. So anyway, we got him squared away, got him put it in the correct hole. He busted his butt to get it done, and he was probably done 15 minutes getting the tent up, a half hour getting the tent up, everything done. And he finally got a chance to take a breath, and here come the hearse. So it was one of those cases. It was, like I say, in the morning, it was like, I hope he's, and as soon as I lifted that thing, I freaked out because I have screwed up big time. That's the biggest thing in the cemetery. You want to put the right person in the right spot.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And you got to dig in the right spot. And I mean, that's the biggest thing is, that's the biggest thing in the world is you got to know where you're at in the cemetery to dig the hole and hopefully and put the right person in the right spot.
That's crazy.
That freaked me out. Tyler and everybody I caught hell for it for a week. So, but it turned out okay, but we were very close. I made a big mistake. That's why a grave mistake.
Yeah. No, the family caught it though. That's
no, nobody caught it. So. No, we didn't advertise this. It's amongst us. I didn't advertise it until now because amongst us.
Mrs. Johnson, sorry about your husband. Funny story though.
Yeah. He's actually over there, but his headstone's back. We'll be all right. We'll put Frank over in the order. We'll be okay. Nobody will know.
When you leave, we'll dig him back up. It's fine.
All you see is a cement vault. You'll be all right.
Yeah, what's he gonna be pissed about it? He don't give a shit right now. Okay.
Yeah, but the other thing was the other two servers for the next couple of days. So, but yeah, that guy was like, "You're kidding me." I said, "I'm not kidding you."
But that's not the first time it's happened to him though.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
But it's got to be. So, the city of Brush, Loranda, what's Blue, has been going through. They're going to put a new system in. I think this is going in most cemeteries, where when you come to Brush, you can actually look online to where the person you're looking for is in the cemetery. You know, but she's had to go back, and I saw the book she's going through of the names of where everybody's at. And this is an old ass book. Like one day they wrote the Constitution, then they started writing this sumbitch. I mean, it's old.
You understand? We had old burial books, and they were big ones, and that's right. We take them out there with us. Well, Matt Underwood took it upon himself to start. He made new. He's my foreman at the time, and he made all new maps, and he made each individual section on a pullout. So you can grab some of them out, or you can grab HR, even the rest. You don't take the whole book. You just take the small book for that division.
Right.
And then you know where everybody's at. It makes it a lot easier.
Right.
And then, but yeah, we have recognition of everybody that's out there. We have a directory online. The city of Fort Morgan has. If you get online and look under the city of Fort Morgan, and go to cemetery, and then look under cemetery directory. From A to Z, alphabetical order, everybody who is buried in the cemetery.
But I think, maybe I'm misspeaking here, maybe I misunderstood this. I think it's going to be like an online, like connected with every town thing.
Yeah, now see, Loveland, of course, theirs is GPS'd. They'll give you the GPS, you to give them the name, and they'll GPS coordinates of where it's at.
Right.
Each person's vault, but of course that's quite a system. City won't do that here,
But then again, those size of those cemeteries are massive. I have a lot of people in Pueblo buried at the cemetery. We go visit, and do my everything. That cemetery goes on forever, man. It's so big, so. And
then for a plug for myself, Matt Underwood always wanted to recognize the veterans in the cemetery. So I took it. He handed me the ball on that, and I took it upon myself with his help and everybody else's help. I've got the names of 700 and roughly 700 names of veterans that are buried in the cemetery. Doing it, we're going to try to hopefully get it done and put it out right after the first of the year. It'll be a military directory underneath the other directory.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, cool.
So
That's really cool, man.
So it's been a 2-year project to go out and find them where they went. I got their name, their rank, their branch, the theater of operation they were in, or the war they were in, and then I put where they're located. It's already above them in the other directory, but they've got their own directory with their location.
Right.
So it's all veterans. And so it was a big undertaking. It took me about 2.5 years or 2 years to work on it.
Sure.
Seeing other things. I didn't want to rush it, so we've been just kind of making sure we're pretty much on cue when we're ready.
Do you know the oldest grave out there by chance?
Oldest grave is, it's a Rouse grave up in it would be the northeast corner, and it is Rouse 1864, I do believe.
Wow.
And then that's where the Cloutworthys and who discovered the city? Baker. Abner Baker's buried up there. The guy who found the city of Fort Morgan. He came from Illinois with the Cloutworthy clan.
Oh, wow.
And he's buried there. All the families there. A lot of the Cloutworthys are there. So that's the old section way up in the corner.
Is that where Baker School gets his name?
Yes.
Oh.
And plus, I think it was John Cloutworthy's great-grandmother, I'm thinking, Kate, I do believe.
Huh.
She designed the original cemetery. If you take it, somebody will show you, take an upper. If you take a look online, you'll see that the old cemetery looks like a flower. It's got the middle, in the middle of that, and it's got four leaves coming off it like a flower. So we call them the petals. And the story is the center of that circle in the cemetery used to be the sexton shop, where they used to work, all the stuff they used to work out of. But now it's cut. That's where we have there's a cement up there, and there's benches and a sundial. Anyway, the story is that the center of that circle is the center of the county.
Oh,
So
really?
That's the state. We did, of course, yeah. That's what they say. The center of that circle in the cemetery is direct center of the county.
This sounds like it's going into some real national treasure shit going on right
Yeah,
now.
it's,
I know. I'm waiting for like the Illuminati to
I'm
make
telling you,
graves.
there's some interesting stuff in the cemetery. That's
Sure.
what I tell a lot of people when they're young, when they're having children, but I don't know what to name. You walk through a cemetery. You got there's some names in there, some of the old
Yeah.
names, Elijah's, some of the old names.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting to see some of the names. And we had a few, one big celebrity out there too. If you guys, his name is Philip Dick. He
The
wrote.
author.
Yep, he's the author. He wrote Terminator. He wrote Blade Runner, and he wrote other fiction.
Really?
Yeah, and his sister and him, he and his sister were born 1928. She died about 6 weeks or a couple months later, and she's buried there. And he said when he passed away, he would come get buried by his sister. When he went out to California and did all his thing out in California, all these books. Look him up on Google, you'll see he's quite a writer.
Philip Dick.
Yep.
D-A-C-K.
Yes.
Okay.
And he, when he passed away, I think 82, he came and he's buried. That's our most visited grave. You can tell when the people show up, they've got goth-looking outfits on and boots, and it's like, somebody's here to see the Dick grave. It's over here. Oh, yeah, they almost show themselves. I mean, you can almost pick them by hand.
You're here for Dick.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we got a few famous people. Laura Ingalls' aunt's out there. She's buried in our cemetery. There's a few interesting things in the cemetery.
All right.
So,
What do you think about that, Vogue?
It's pretty interesting. And I knew how the whole vault thing worked from just talking to Kelly, from being friends with him and stuff. So, but
I guess I never knew. When I went to go visit Tim, we lived in Louisiana. It was weird because they're all above ground. Yeah, we drove by and I'm like, that's crazy. And they're all cement, obviously. They put the casket in the cement. Is that what that is, the vault?
yes.
Okay. It's because I guess when it
They can't
floods,
put- yeah.
you'd have...
They can't put them underground in Louisiana. In fact, I was in Panama when I was in the military. I went to Panama, working in the jungle. We made this one turn. There's these little huts out there that are about 8-10 foot long, but they look like little houses. And they're like 8-10 foot long and about 3-4 foot tall. And I couldn't figure out what they were. Finally, about the fourth day went by, I said, "What in the hell are all those little huts out there?" And this guy sitting next to me, he's from Louisiana. He grew up in Louisiana.
Yeah.
He goes, "That's a cemetery, Sergeant Hoem." I said, "What?" He goes, "That's a cemetery. They're like us in Louisiana. They can't bring them underground. They're at water. We're at sea level."
Right.
So once they dig 2 foot, they probably hit water. So that's what they are. Is they're above ground cemetery, above ground houses for
Right.
for bodies.
Well,
So
plus, when it floods, I guess they had a bunch of caskets.
yeah, they float.
Yeah, they
They
float.
float around. Yeah, it's interesting. Hopefully we weren't into that problem. So
Yeah. Huh. That is an interesting story. I like it. We'll see.
yeah,
You okay?
Yeah, I got something caught in my throat.
You want me to punch you in the throat?
Maybe.
Okay.
It might help.
Because we're friends. That's what I do for anybody.
That's what you do.
Punch or be punched.
He's saying we're friends. He's been looking for a reason to punch me in the throat for years.
Just throw a punch at him. Just haul off and smack him. All right. That was a grave mistake. We have Blue Dog, and it knocked a PI on her ass. His
DI.
ass.
Drill instructor.
DI, sorry. Not a
Not
PI.
a private investigator, a drill instructor.
Well, Kelly, there's always one I want to hear the most, and I always want to hear that one last. So instead, let's hear Blue Dog.
Blue Dog. All right. Like I said, I was a lineman for 35 years, and I worked with guys. I worked with guys for so many years. I spent more time with some of the guys than I did my family. Now, if you guys may know, David Tarver and I worked together for 25 years.
What's up, David?
David unfortunately passed away.
What's up, David?
Yeah, David passed away in 2009.
Okay.
So anyway, him and I were together for 25 years. We were pull buddies, rode together. I mean, he knew more about me than we were just the best of friends. We had to be. We worked together. Worked together from Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday. We were 4:10 usually, from 8 o'clock on Monday until 5 o'clock on Thursday. We were pretty much together. We'd eat together, we'd go have drinks together, just have fun together, and then of course we had separate rooms at night. We didn't have to sleep together, but anyway, that's where we drew the line. Right. And then we were together almost continuously. So yeah, you got to know the guy real well. So anyway, we were working. This would have been I can't even remember what year it was. Sam was with us, so probably early 90s. We were working down in Burlington. We tried to add a lot of the lines down there, and we had to take the pickup and a couple of big trucks down there to do some work in a substation. And we spent a lot of time in Burlington. Burlington's also our second home. And we used to stay at, it was Burlington Inn, or otherwise it used to be a Ramada Inn. It's that motel on Rose Avenue just before you cross the bridge I-70 to go towards Cheyenne Wells on the north side. It's a big, big motel. It's an old one now, but they call it the Burlington Inn at the time. So that's where we used to stay. And, of course, Burlington at that time, they only had maybe one or two bars, and they had a bar at this place we stayed at. It was a very popular bar. All the locals hung out there. We knew a lot of people, and everybody come in there at the end of the day and just get slammed, and then they go home. And of course, we were staying there, so we didn't have to worry about a driver. So anyway, we were there we got there on a Monday, and went in and had a few beers, not much on a Monday. Tuesday we went back in. It was a hot day. It was probably the May time frame, maybe even to June. Anyway, we went inside and we started slamming beers. We were thirsty. And Dave and I, here come all the locals trickling in. And Dave was one hell of a pool player. Dave was really good. He used to work for the railroad before he started with the power company. So Dave had been playing pool since he was a kid, and he was a good pool player. And when Dave started to shoot pool, my job was usually to watch his money and just relax and watch it, because he'd just leave his money lay there,
Right.
So anyway, he started shooting pool, and he goes, "Hey, watch my money." I said, "All right." So I'm watching his money, and he's starting to shoot pool, and he's starting to drink beer. And Dave could drink beer real well. He was a pro at it. And we were sitting there after our first beer. We ordered up a second beer, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting at the bar. We ended up at the corner of the bar that night, and we're sitting there, and I look over to my right, and there's pool chalk on this shelf. And I thought, So I grabbed the pool chalk, and I grabbed his beer, and I started to put pool chalk across the top of his beer. Nothing was really happening. So this guy I didn't even know, about 5 rows down or 5 chairs down, he goes, "Hey, put a little beer in it, make it a little more liquidy." So I took Dave's beer, and I dipped a little beer in the chalk, and set it down. Well, Dave came over to the bar after shooting, after his shot, and "Here, Dave," and I just handed him his beer. "Thanks." He'd take a drink, set it down, I'd do it again. Well, after this is, and then about the third beer, I've been doing this for 3 beers. Every time I said it, it was getting there. Right. And who walks in besides Jerry and what the heck was it? Jerry and can't think of the other guy's name offhand. They were from Sydney. They were on the oil crew. They happened to be in town. Kenny and Jerry. And Jerry's a character anyway. He saw what I was doing. He just, "This is great." So he sat down, and he started doing it. When Dave come over, he'd literally hand Dave his beer, and Dave would take a drink and hand it back to Jerry. Jerry would turn around, and we'd do it again. So we did this for like 6 or 8 beers, and he'd come over to visit us, and he had blue teeth and blue lips, and he had no clue. Absolutely no clue. And we all kept a straight face trying, and if you guys may remember, there used to be a beer out called Red Dog beer.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was a sign. There was a bar. That's where they kept the alcohol. And the drinks was on the shelf. And it was built out from the wall, and hanging on this side of the shelf about 5 feet in front of me was the Red Dog, the Bulldog from the Red Dog beer.
Sure.
So he's looking, he's shooting pool, and I said, "Oh, good shot, Blue Dog," because he had blue teeth. And he goes, "Where did that come from?" I said, just sounded good, So we started calling him Blue Dog. Just all of a sudden, he couldn't figure out why. So like I say, we did this 6-8 beers, whatever it was. We were all getting slammed, and his teeth. I mean, by the end, his teeth and lips were just blue.
Looks like he blew a Smurf.
Oh man, good one, yeah. So anyway, he was down to his last. He was getting ready to be done. Well, he's almost done playing in this lady state. "Dave, you want to play one more game?" And he smiled and said, "Sure." She goes, "What is on your lips?" So he wipes his lips off and sees what's going on. Well, all I can see of David is about this much in between the pool lights and the pool table. He bends down, looks at me, and flips me off and goes back to the bathroom and cleans himself up. He comes back, and I'm sitting, like I said, I'm sitting in the corner of the bar. He comes back, and his finger, he just starts stabbing me. "You fucked with the wrong..." Oh, I'm just dying. I finally got David after all these years. He's sticking me, and he's jabbing me. We're all laughing. Oh, yeah, I got it. So that was on a Tuesday. We gave him hell all day Wednesday about Blue Dog and this and that and another. And he was, we told everybody the joke. He was the butt of this joke. So anyway, as we went back in Wednesday, had a couple of beers. We got up Thursday. It was time to go home. We worked 4/10s. We went home on Thursday. Throw all our stuff in the pickup, all our suitcases, go to work at noon or a little after we head home. Now I'm in the bucket truck. Sam's in the other truck. And Dave's in the pickup. Dave's got my suitcase and all the other suitcases. So anyway, we get home. We get to the shop. And we had our timesheets to do and start to fill the trucks and do all this to finish up our week. Got done. 5:30 comes, time to go home. Of course, I was driving the company truck. The guys already grabbed their suitcases out of their trucks, and they took off. I drive the company truck home. I get home, grab my suitcase, and the first thing you do when you travel as much as I did is you take your suitcase, open it up, and you throw your dirty clothes in the hamper so they get washed. You can take off on Monday. Yeah. So, of course, my kids were 8 and 9 maybe, and Susan's talking to me. The kids are bobbing around like little kids do. I threw my suitcase up on the bed, opened it up, and there's a big dry cow turd about this big on top of my stuff. Big old dry cow turd, about the size of a large pizza. Oh, I looked at that thing, and there's a note with this. It says, "This could have been a wet green one, Blue Dog." Susan goes, "What the hell?" I said, "Hang on." I shut my suitcase. I took it outside. I opened it back up. I found a piece of board or something and slid it off and threw it in the yard. And it didn't make much of a mess in my suitcase. Kind of cleaned it up a little bit, brought it in, told her the story. So I get back to work on Monday. I walk in, Dave's desk with Henry had calendars on the wall. And I was looking at the calendar. I said, could have been a wet green one, huh? He said, "Yeah, sure could have been." I said, "How'd you manage to do this task?" He said, "Well, I stopped on my back. I stopped to take a piss, and I pulled in, and there's a pasture in the corner of the pasture where all the cattle gathered, and I saw all these cow turds, and it was like, So I went to your suitcase, and I knew you didn't have it unlocked." He said, "I unlocked your suitcase. I opened it up. I grabbed a shovel out of the shovel rack." So I walked around for a good 2 or 3 minutes looking for the biggest one I could find. He said, and I was hoping it wouldn't break apart. He said, "I grabbed it with a shovel like you do a pizza." He says, "It held together real well." He said, "I slid it in your suitcase like a guy puts a pizza in the oven. Boom, shut. And then I wrote the note, shut it." He said, "I knew you wouldn't take your suitcase out till you got home because you had the company truck." So that's how he got back at me. So that all happened in like 3 days.
You know how lucky you are you weren't flying home. And Homeland Security wonders if you're trying to... These mushrooms? I think this guy's...
Yeah, it was...
It's like a new form of transporting pot.
Oh, Dave, I've got more stories than Dave and I. That's one I remember, one of the better ones. But I got a couple more to knock your socks off. But yeah.
How did it smell?
It was dry. It was really dry. It wasn't bad.
So it wasn't bad.
No, it was like petrified. But he was pretty nice about that one.
Oh, I wouldn't have been.
He got me really good. So that was always a joke. Yeah, he got you back. Yeah, you think? But I got him real good. In fact, there was a guy who we kind of knew. He had a camera, and he wanted to take a picture that night. He goes, "How can I get a picture of you guys?" I said, "Oh, no, we'll just get together and have a picture." I said, "Dave, this guy wants a picture." He goes, "Why?" He says, I said, he said, we're having so much fun. He just wants to take our picture. So he took a picture, and Dave had his blue teeth and right in the middle just smiling away and got a picture taken. He went back to playing pool, and the guy says, how can I get you this how can I get the picture to you? I said, give it to Norm. Norm knows us very well. Just get it back to Norm. Norm will get it to us. So it was 6 months later, he came in the bar. Norm goes, oh, guys, you're here. He pulled it off the shelf and handed it to Sam. And it's a beautiful picture. Sam had it on his desk at work for a long time. Well, Sam left, and he took the picture with him, so I don't have a copy of the picture. But
What year is this around?
91, probably.
All right, so
give or take.
No cell phones,
No
smartphones.
no, not yet.
Lucky.
No, it was a regular old click camera.
Lucky for Dave.
I would love to have that picture back because he had red hair, and a red beard, and big old smile, blue teeth, and blue lips. It was hilarious.
He looked like some Stephen King shit.
That is the best I ever got him. I think.
Murder you in your sleep.
That's probably the best I ever got him. We picked on each other a lot, made it a lot of more fun.
That's good. That's what friends are for, though, right?
Yeah, he's a good friend. Do anything in the world for me.
I've always said that about friends. You know, you love your friends, but you like to watch them suffer a little bit too. You know, that's kind of a good thing.
My dad told me something one time when we were kids. You know, we were talking about we're driving. I was a young kid driving to town with Dad, and on the radio, Paul Harvey came on back in the early '60s or '68, '69, somewhere in there, and he talked about this guy who won all this god awful amount of money. And I looked at my dad. My dad was kind of a wise old guy, you know. And I said, Dad, wouldn't it be nice to be that rich? Dad just kind of chuckled and shook his head. He goes, never count your wealth by your money. He said, count it by your friends.
Yeah.
He said, you can be the richest guy in the world and not have a friend, and it's a lonely place.
Yeah.
He says, but if you got a friend and you need a 20, he'll lend you one.
Yeah.
It's a jest. I've always kept that, and that's always been one of my neatest sayings my dad ever told me.
Yeah. It's not what you have when you die. It's the lives you affected. Right?
That's it. Yep. So I've made some good friends. This town's been good to me. I've made some real good friends since I've been here.
You know, I've always said that even about this podcast or anything. That's been my biggest blessing in life is the people in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how this all got started. You know, is because I know so many people had so many great stories, and so far, this is I figured episode will be number 96. We've almost made it to 100, man. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's been wild. But yeah, I fully believe on that. Relationships are important.
They are.
They're very important.
Friends, you can't make it without them.
No, my God, no.
Be awful lonely. I got a lot of good friends that help you out. They help me out. I'm the same way.
Right.
Comes time to move. Now your friends aren't available.
Hey, that's right, dude. I help your ass move once. If you move more than once, you know what? You find new friends, fucker.
Yeah.
You know, you want to bury a dead hooker, I'll get a shovel, but I ain't helping you move that goddamn couch again, okay?
That's right.
Because it's one of
Gosh, I have a friend. I helped her move a piano like 3 times.
you are a good friend.
And then, like, the last time she was getting ready to move, I go, I'm not moving your fucking piano. She's like, no, I'm going to have someone else do it.
That's where your real friends are. I got busy. All of a sudden, he got busy and couldn't help.
But you know what? I bought a pickup, and that was my biggest fear. It's like, I wanted a pickup, not to help all of you move, just so you know. But I'm getting old enough in life, Kelly, to where that's not a big thing like it was. When I was in my 20s,
Yeah.
and working at a nightclub where someone was getting evicted from their house all the time, so we bartended and drank all our money.
Yeah.
You know, I've moved so many people up and downstairs. I had a hideaway. My buddy Kelly, rest his soul. Everything I owned came from ARC. Goodwill at that age, you know, everything, all my furniture, you know.
Right.
I go through there like, oh, this couch looks like new, like it made in this century, you know. And one was a hide-a-bed. And Kelly, and Chris got
They're
that
heavy.
some bitch up 3 flights of stairs. When I moved, Kelly goes, guess what? Someone just inherited that damn hide-a-bed. I don't give a shit about your deposit, you know.
That's it.
So, yeah.
I've got a 3-horse trailer, and I moved more people than I ever did horses.
At the Park Terrace Apartments in Pueblo, they had a little balcony, like a little small one, right? That you see in apartments. And there was the lawn, like the center lawn. So we were drinking one day. That's how we got that couch out. We threw it over the dam.
Yeah.
Over the edge of that thing, dude. And the dent made that fucking lawn, dude.
Don't know your lands, right?
Yeah, it was.
Heads.
That didn't go over well, by the way. So, because we're drunk and laugh and think it's hilarious. And get that thing up at our chest level alone. Like, that would have killed somebody had it hit them. So,
They're heavy.
yeah. Oh, what'd you think about that one, Vogue?
That was great.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's the whole chalk thing is awesome.
Right.
I just had me sitting there, and they happened to be here, and I don't know what made me think of it, and I just,
Right.
There we go.
Right. Because you want to be an asshole to your friend.
Yeah,
That's what friends
he
are
deserved
for.
it. Yeah, he
you know?
deserved it.
Like I said, you'd be there going to traffic for the man. But if you make him look like an asshole in traffic, you're going to take that too. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So it's
That's right.
what friends are for. So, all right, I genuinely I like stories like that a lot. So, old time friendships that those are the memories that you
Right.
save, right? That's the shit you do to each other, you know. So my friend Mac, what's up, Mackie? I grew up next door to him my whole life. So someday he'll be on this podcast, and I'm worried a little bit about it because he knows me way too long, way too well. So yeah, and that's pretty mild of the shit he's done to me. So all right, man, we got 2 down. Great Mistake and Blue Dog. We have 1 left. Knocked a DI on his ass.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I joined the military when I was in high school. Well, I graduated May 20th of 79, and 3 weeks later, June 11th was on a Monday. My mom and dad and I loaded up, and we drove to from Saratoga, Wyoming, around to Laramie. And I got on, that's where I started my flight, got on a little commuter flight. Never been on a big plane like this. Flew to Denver, got on a DC-10, and flew to Atlanta. I get off in Atlanta. I carry my manila envelope with all my orders in it, dressed like in civilian clothes with a little bag. They tell you not to bring much, so you don't. Anyway, a little bag, kind of like a gym bag nowadays. And get to Atlanta, and I find where we're supposed to be for my next flight. And I see more guys carrying envelopes. We all kind of get on the same flight, and we fly from Atlanta to Columbia, South Carolina. And what is in Columbia, South Carolina? The United States Army training base, basic training base of Fort Jackson, South Carolina, right outside of town. So we land there, get out, and you get off the board. I mean, by this time, it was 95% of the people in this plane were going to basic training.
Okay.
We get off, we get in the airport, and here's the wannabe sergeants, I call them now. They want to be DIs, but they're not yet. They just start screaming at you. All right, you trainees, get over here, just get in line, sit down and shut up, just start screaming. And I'm thinking, this is going to get old. Anyway, they start naming everybody alphabetical order, boom, 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 start naming everybody to get on. And then pretty soon they check everybody there. Here comes the buses. They pick you up in the buses, and they scream at you. You get on the bus, and you drive, and they take you to reception camp, which is the big part. Nice barracks, and of course all these Army guys, ladies and men, they've already been through basic training IT. They're getting ready to move out, and they just start pointing at you and laughing at you because here I am. I'm the greenhorn. I'm coming in to start this. I'm looking out the bus window, and I see these guys. He's not very big. I think if he made it, I can do this. You kind of compare yourself with the little guy. He looks like a real winner. If he did it, I think I can do this. So anyway, you get there. And then by the time we got to Fort Jackson, it was, probably 3 or 4 in the afternoon Eastern time. And it was hot. June 11th, it was, I've never been this hot, never been in humidity. And of course, Wyoming, just sweating like a stuck pig. That's terrible. Right. Anyway, and so they get us in line, and they get us going, they get us started, they put us in the billets, get us back outside, go feed us. They feed us about 5 o'clock, tell us to be back out here when they're done standing on these yellow lines, and do not talk in the chow hall. So we didn't. It was all new. These guys, none of us know what's going on. It's just a whole. So anyway, we end up getting done. We wait outside. They march us, they yell at us, scream at us some more, and march us down to the billets, tell us to find a bunk. We find a bunk. We get a little couple hours to ourselves. Lights are out at 8 o'clock. You're on your bunk, you go to bed. At least at this time, the air conditioning was on in the billet, so it wasn't so bad. But this is the first time I ever got introduced to communal living, too. You've got 200 bunks laying in these big rooms. You just pick one and lay down and shut the hell up. You have no idea who's next to you. It could be a killer or it could be some dude who's in serious trouble from another, it's one of those. Right. Somebody who had the choice of going to the prison or going to the army. You just kind of sit there and shut up. And the next morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm sleeping away. And I hear the lights come on. They start kicking trash cans, banging as lights come on. They got speakers in the ceiling. Get up, you sons of a bitch. Get up, get up. They just start screaming. I wake up. Oh, shit. I'm in the Army. This is the next morning after I left Wyoming. And we had to go through reception camp, and we had to get our uniforms and our shots. And we're standing in the hallway waiting to go. And this guy, I remember this very well. This guy steps out, and he goes, hey, for all you people who don't know, for all you people out here that don't know, John Wayne passed away yesterday. See, John Wayne passed away July 11th, 79 when I was. So, yeah, I thought, shit, the Duke's dead. That sucks. It was one thing I do remember. He told us in the hallway. So we go through and we get all your uniforms, your pickle suits, we call them, your boots, your belts, your dress clothes, your dress uniforms, everything's issued to you. And they put everything in 2 duffel bags, except for what you're wearing. And then they give you the old saying, they give you $50 and take back $49. Well, that's what happens. They give you $50, you sign for it, you get paid $50. Hey. You go to the next window, they take $20 for 2 locks. You go to the next window, they take this for this, and you go to the barber, and before you know it, you got $5 left. You got to pay all these guys, and it's an advance pay, so you don't have any choice. So anyway, everybody's got short hair by now, and you go back at the end of the day, we're all dressed in green, duffel bags. By the time we're done the reception clamp, it's about 5 o'clock. They put us back in our bunks, feed us back in our bunks that night. We got a couple hours. Next day, they wake up. Real world's about to hit us in the ass. They get us, they feed us. Now they're trying to teach us how to kind of march off across the way, and we end up standing underneath. They get us in there, we stand under these like lean-tos. At least they did have lean-tos to keep keep the sun off you for the most part. And we stand and wait, and here come the infamous cattle cars. That's what they call them. And they haul, all they are is semi-trailers behind semi-trucks with elevator with probably 8 to 10 foot accordion doors on them. And you walk into them, you got 1 step, 2 step, there's a flight of people, flight here, and then people stand up here, and there is seats. There's a bench on each side that'll sit about 4 people. Otherwise, you got to stand and hang on to everything like a commuter. I mean, they don't give a shit. They're taking you out to basic training. Right. They start screaming at you. They load you in there like cattle. I mean, make room, make room. So you're in there with their duffel bags and everything. I mean, you're just right here. So anyway, we get out there. Here we take the 10 minutes, 15 minutes, seem like forever. And one guy's by the window. I remember that very well. They come and you hear the brakes. You hear it stop, and the guy looks. All right, there's the guys with the campaign hats, so we knew the DIs were out the door. Those accordion doors come open, and the DIs just start screaming at you to get your ass out of this bus. And they just start filtering like a funnel out this door. Well, the guy behind me loses his balance and hits me in the back with his duffel bag. Well, I take 2 steps forward to catch my balance and step out of the door, and a DI stepped in front of me to start yelling. And I brought both of my bags up, hit him in the chest, laid his ass out flat. His hat went rolling, and all the other DIs are rolling because he just got laid out by a new trainee. And he's grabbing his hat, he's cleaned it off, and he is right here. He finds me, and he's just screaming at me for 10 minutes. I mean, I'm standing there trying, I said, this sucks. And he would not, he was relentless, he just pissed. Because I got him dirty, I got his hat dirty, he just come with all kinds of excuses. And all the DIs are still laughing at him.
How dare you kind of thing.
Oh, man, he was just on me. So anyway, he finally gave up and went on his way. And anyway, ended up being in 1st Platoon. So I saw him quite a bit throughout basic training because I was in 3rd Platoon, he was in 1st Platoon. He'd come through the walking area. There you are, you son of a... He still yelled at me. Every time he saw me, he'd yell at me. His name was Batiste, Sergeant Batiste. He'd scream at me every time he saw me. Anyway, another funny part to this was we were getting ready to load the buses and not the bus, but getting ready to get into our platoon formation to go to our company area. And they do everything in alphabetical order. They've got everything. Well, of course, Hoem. Well, there was the guy, a couple from me. His last name was Head, Head. His first name was Richard.
No, sir.
There's no way. The DI's up there, he goes, all right, Head, Richard, dickhead, we got a bona fide dickhead. Get your ass up here. He runs up there, and I feel sorry for this guy. He's standing there. Tells him to turn around. We got us a bona fide dickhead. This is dickhead. And just rode this guy up one side and down the other.
What was Mama and Papa Head thinking?
They were from, I think he was actually from Alabama. He was kind of a deep woods, kind of a goofy kid. But
holy shit,
Richard Head.
I'm just saying, why would you do that to your child?
That was the kicker.
When you name your children, I don't have kids, but you both do. When you name your children, how many times did you say that and go through the initials and everything else to make sure?
Well, that's like Harley. My oldest daughter, her middle name's Michelle, but her mom, my wife at the time, we wanted to do like a family name. So Marty's grandma's name was Irene, so we were going to do Harley Irene. Until I pointed out her initials would be HIV. So now Brinley's Irene. But anyway, so yeah.
BIV, that's okay. But my point is, when you named your kids, didn't you kind of give some thought to it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe you rode that guy up one side and down the other. They had to be my platoon, too. We were always, he was only a couple ahead of me. Richard Head, I felt sorry for that guy. But that's when I knocked the DI on his ass. I'd been there. I literally stepped foot in burst on the dirt of where I was going to do basic training and knocked that DI on his ass. He was not happy. Oh God, he was mad.
Yeah, that's getting off on the wrong foot.
Oh yeah, it was
sure.
a very, very bad start. Oh yeah. He was on me like flying on shit for like 10 minutes, man, just screaming at me.
Sir, you're being a Richard Head, sir.
So it was, oh yeah, and then like I say, every time he saw me the rest of the 6-8 weeks I was there, he'd just scream at me again.
Oh man,
it was here he comes, Private Hoem. Oh my God, and he just yell at me.
Home.
So,
What year are you saying?
this would have been 1979.
1979. Last podcast or two ago, Matt was here, and he'd never seen Full Metal Jacket.
Oh yeah.
And I told him, you have to watch Full Metal Jacket, if anything else, just for the beginning scene, the drill instructor scene.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I mean, was it close to that or no?
Actually, a good one to compare it to would be Officer and Gentleman.
Oh, I don't think I've
When
seen that.
Louis Gossett plays the DI.
Really?
He plays a good DI.
Huh.
It's a tough movie. Yeah, Officer and General Richard Gere. Louis Gossett Jr. plays the DI, and he plays a good DI.
Actually, the guy's name escapes me, but the Full Metal Jacket guy?
He's actually a Marine Deer.
Yes, he was an advisor.
Yes, he was.
Arlie Ermy.
There you go.
He was yeah. You ever see the Boys in Company C? He played in that one too. He's a DI in that one.
Really?
Yeah, he was. Of course, he's actually a DI in the Marines for years. Tough cookie there.
Because he did so well at it. They're like, "Whoa, what are we messing around with our actor for? You do it, man. You know."
He's good. Yeah, he was really.
He made that dude cry. That's what we want. That's,
Oh, yeah, DIs were amazing. Those guys, I bet your mother, their babysat you, and they scream and yell, and oh man.
and they can't do it anymore though. Can't they? Can scream and yell, but they got to be careful what they
Yeah,
say.
it's a lot different now. It's a lot different. Even since my brother, of course, my brother was in it during Vietnam, and they were a lot tougher on those guys. One time I came along, they were still fairly tough, but not like it is. I guess they're much softer today.
Well, they got to be careful. They can't offend you or
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So.
Yeah, it's different. But yeah, it was. They were DIs were they got a neat job.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time. It was a very, very learning experience. You learn that your biggest thing I learned in a hurry is keep your mouth shut and your ears open.
Yeah.
They'll tell you exactly what they want you to do. You don't have to ask any questions. The less questions you ask, the better off you are. So,
Because you said John Wayne, that's the first thing I thought about was that Full Metal Jacket. Is that you, John Wayne? Is this me?
so yeah, that was the first day of basic training. I mean, 1 hour into basic training, I already got this DI knocked on his ass.
That's funny.
What a day.
All right. What do you think about that, Vogue?
I liked it.
Do you have one in mind?
I do.
So do I. Actually, I think I might have caught something, but we'll see. So before we go on any further, if you do like what you see today, the Bullhucker, on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you see a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that. It's a
Small click for you, but a big click for us.
I didn't forget this time. I felt so bad. You tried. He was ready for it. I dogged on you last time. It is. And no matter what you're watching this on or listening to this on, please like and follow. Leave us a note at the end or a comment.
A rating and review.
Rating and review. Or a comment on the YouTube. That would be...
let us know what you think
yeah.
the Bullhucker is.
Susan Koser is amazing about this. So is Tish. They always leave their guests. Susan Koser she's great. She's I think the first one that ever really listened to the podcast. She's damn close to it. But whatever you guess, whether it's right or not, put it in the comments. We're always it's always fun to see what everybody else thinks, you know. So, but how we decide who has to pick first is we rate rock paper scissors. How do you rock paper scissors?
Oh, I don't rock paper scissors very often. It's usually rock paper scissors. That's all.
Do you like go rock paper scissors and then go on scissors, or rock paper scissors shoot?
I usually go on the last rock paper scissors.
Boom,
usually.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
3.
Dude, it's the year of the three pumper, man. Because, you know what? You're doing it right, Kelly. Good for you. That's what it's saying. So the story, the reason I ask is, we've talked about this a million times. So we'll go too far into it. He does it on the rock paper scissors shoot, and I do it like you. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
We were on the same page for like the 3 or 4 podcasts until Dempsey just came up, and then she was like, "What the fuck are you two doing?" So we don't communicate. But so we ask everybody. There are 4 pumper and 3 pumper. So we're doing it on 3.
On 3. All right.
I'll let you try again. I know it's alien to you. I know it's.
It is. It's weird.
Paper covers rock.
Come on now. So we have 3 stories. We have knocked a DI on his ass, blue dog, and grave mistake. Is there one you think is absolutely true?
Yes.
Which one do you think is absolutely true?
Blue Dog.
You think Blue Dog's true?
Because I'm pretty sure I've heard that story before.
Okay, fair enough.
So
it's between grave mistake and knocked a DI on him.
yeah, so I feel like I have a 50-50 shot. Now watch him change something in Blue Dog, and that's going to be it. But I remember him telling me about the cow pie in your luggage. I remember that part. The Blue Dog thing sounds is familiar to me. So I'm knocking that one out of there. Out of the other two, I'm gonna go with grave mistake. Just for the simple fact of, I kind of feel like I know how Kelly works and his work ethic and stuff like that, and I don't think that's a mistake that would be made. So I don't know. That's the only way.
I'm with
going
you
for that.
It probably is Blue Dog, because last time you and I did a podcast with Jake, and he kicked both our asses, remember?
Yeah.
Convincingly kicked our ass at this. Yeah. Right? We both got it wrong, didn't we?
Yeah, we both got it wrong.
Yeah. And it was the one we both were concerned or convinced was right.
We were like, that's got to be absolutely it. And then
So,
it wasn't.
I think Blue Dog is right, too. It was fun. You can kind of see the glow in your eye when you're telling this story. This is something, you could tell it reminds you of an old friend. Mm-hmm. It's a warm memory. Not to DI on his ass. The little thing you scrolled here, I keep wanting to say on her ass, but not to DI on his ass. I think that's a true story too. Had a lot of detail in it. Something looks like you're proud of. I'm gonna say grave mistake, because if you did do that, just admit it on here. That's a ballsy move, my friend. Somebody's gonna be watching this and be like, we need to go dig up Uncle Harold, make sure he didn't score.
Make sure it's really him.
We don't do it very often, but we're going to go together on this one.
Yeah, we're going to agree.
Great mistakes. So once again, before you flip that over, bullhucker.com is where you can find all our stuff. We'll have the Big Johnson Construction. Do you have a website?
Yeah, we have a website.
We'll have that in the description below, so you can check it out if you need something built. As well as everything else. No matter where we are, we always put the links to everything on there. And you go on the bullhucker.com under the link that says as seen on the Bullhucker, and it'll show you everywhere we've been and all the links how to get there. So anywhere from personal trainers to life coaches, a few bars, a few restaurants, we've been everywhere. The gym,
Right.
It's been a lot of fun. So because your wife is a trainer at the gym.
No,
not anymore.
She used to work she used to be the front desk at the club out at Star.
Didn't she train aquatics?
Yeah, she
does aquatics.
She does aquatics and brush.
She does aquatics. I was thinking more like the gym atmosphere. No, she's a certified aquatics teacher.
Okay,
yes.
that's what I was going.
Yeah, so while she's teaching aquatics, Kelly and I are in the deep end just talking.
Yeah, Gavin is laughing, giggling, the shit. Yeah, just having fun.
The slackers in the back of the class.
You two doing anything? Yeah, we're trying.
Working our
As
gums.
long as we're moving, right, Susan?
95% of the time, I'm the only guy in the class, and the rest of these ladies are older. Well, maybe not older than me, but they look older than me.
Once again, saying that, a ballsy move, my friend. So, all right, Kelly, let's flip that bad boy over and see what you got.
All right, gentlemen. You were correct.
Grave mistake.
Half truth.
What is not true about that?
The truth is the guy did not show up. I actually put him in the wrong spot, got up at 3 a.m, thinking this all the way from town. The guy showed up, the vault's in the ground. My ass is hanging out. I did run to the shop, checked the board, came back, ran over to where we had the cones placed, grabbed them, lifted, no vault. He hadn't been there yet. So I actually took the cones and put them in the correct spot. Everything was fine.
Okay, so for some reason,
everything turned out. I told Tyler after everything was done, he just laughed. But yeah, it actually it went as far as to actually look in there and make sure. And after that, it was there was no vault in there. The guy hadn't been there yet. So.
Okay.
See, and I'm thinking he told me about this during aquatics this summer too. So I'm not sure, but it sounds kind of familiar.
You know what I liked about that story is I learned a lot that I did not know about the grave. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I had no clue because I thought they just dug the hole.
Dropped you in.
What's the contraption they use?
They call them lowering device. Is what we call. Yeah,
with the straps on it, it lowers. I thought that was pretty much it.
We got quick time for another quick story.
Sure.
All right, Dave and I.
Well, first of all, before we do that, Blue Dog is a true story.
Yes, very true. Everything. Yep, exactly.
And I could kind of tell that by the glow in your eyes.
Blue Dog is a true story.
Yeah, and knocked a DI on his ass.
Yep. That was my welcome to the army moment there, and it was not fun.
Have you seen that guy since?
Oh hell no, not after I left.
He's probably not around anymore.
Probably not.
Okay.
So yeah, of course. They're all from the south, most of them. So yeah, it was no, it's the first tour, and then like I say, grave mistake was a half truth.
All right. Well, we got time for Let's.
All right, one more quick one. Dave
Okay.
and I, again, we're working up in Nebraska, outside of Hereford or Hemingford, not too far, and we're up there working in a substation. We pull up that morning. They've got canals or little trenches dug as we're laying the ground mat in the substation. So we get there, and I told Dave, I said, "Oh, we're doing groundwork today." I said, "Fun." I said, "Take my wallet out. I don't want to lose that in the damn trench, or we'll never find it." He goes, "Good idea." So I threw mine in the glove box, and he threw his in the little pouch of the poncho seat in the back seat, little poncho pouch in the back seat. And we went to work. Well, like I say, Hemingford was real close. We decided to go to town for lunch. So come lunchtime, we're all heading to the gate, lock the gate, and I said, "Oh, shit, my wallet. I need it." Dave goes, "Yeah, I do too." So we were both giving each other shit, walked to the truck to get my wallet. I leaned in to get my wallet in the crew cab pickup. I leaned in like so, opened the glove box, and at that time, Dave opened up the back door of the crew cab to get his out. And he pinched the ass cheek of my right ass cheek between the door and the door jamb of the pickup. Oh, no. And he opens the back door, and I'm screaming, "Shut the fucking door, shut the fucking door." He goes, "Why?" I said, "My ass is in it." He goes, "What?" "My ass is in the door." I'm just screaming. He goes, "What?" I said, "My ass is in the goddamn door." He goes, "Oh, shit." He shuts it. Oh, did that hurt? I mean, the back door pinched my butt between the door frame and the door of that pickup, and it hurt. My left hand, it hurt. And he's laughing. We were laughing. He told everybody at work we were laughing about it. And I came home that night. Came time to take a shower. I get ready to take a shower, and I had a black and blue mark about the size of a cigarette package, maybe about so big.
Yeah.
Copenhagen can't give or take on my left ass cheek. Susan goes, "What the hell happened to you?" I turned around and I looked and said, "Well, call David." I said, "Better yet, don't call David, because he'll say, oh, nope. So I called. I told her what actually happened. That's a true story. And the joke was always till Dave's dying day. "Yeah, you're the only guy I know who's got an ass big enough to get stuck in a truck door." But that was one of the real funny ones.
You know what I heard of the whole story? As someone's walking by, they hear you screaming, "My ass, my ass," and Dave's like, What? I think those two guys were making love over there.
And he kept leaning on it, and it just kept getting worse and worse. Oh, I couldn't move. Oh, did that hurt? So, yeah.
When did Dave pass away?
September of 2009.
Oh, nice. Well, it's been a while then.
Yeah, he was good. We traveled together for a lot of years.
Yeah, he lost a good for you. You've lost some good friends. Yep. That's tough, man. But it's fun to reminisce about him.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of good stories.
Yeah, I've told some stories on this podcast about some friends that are fallen. So it's a good way to remember them.
And of course, Big Ray. I used to work with Big Ray Man too. Ray Man and I worked together. I got some good stories on Ray.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Kel, we'll have to have you back one of these days.
Sure.
Did you have a good time?
I did. It was fun.
Were you nervous at all?
Not at all. Once we got started, it's relaxing. It's just only thing different is we don't have a beer in front of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, sometimes that happens. We're gonna have to. It depends. It is what it is. So the 100th episode's coming. You know Dencia, yes?
No, you ever know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's her, I, and Adam doing the 100th episode. So that's her thing. Is we're gonna drink during the 100th episode. We're gonna do this little crocked. That's her.
She wants to do the bull drunker.
The bull drunker.
That's
That's exactly what it is. I told her,
that'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I have to edit it, so we'll see how fun it is, Kelly. So, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on, man.
You're
welcome. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I've been looking forward to this.
That's awesome. So, hey guys, thank you for coming on. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Adam Vokey.
And hey, catch you next time. Peace.